Bring together a couple 100,000 people in motorsport activity, put them on a beach, and you've got yourself lots of fun times. The New Jersey Hot Rod Association gets set to stage Thunder on the Beach 3. As they match up, should be good. The winners advance on. The losers get to play on the beach. First round, Thunder on the Beach. They're all yanking for $40,000 in that purse. And again, a good first round matchup here. David Morris in the Equalizer out of Springfield, Tennessee. A good-looking truck, plenty of speed here with good qualifying effort. Against Eric Tack driving a Bigfoot Ford. Bob and Marilyn Chandler out of St. Louis, Missouri. Again, Bigfoot, a tough round in qualifying there. He had an 8:14, whereas the Equalizer had a pretty good run at a 7:20. Should be a good first round matchup. Let's see who the winner is here. Once the flag goes, they're on their own. Horsepower on the line as we get set for the first pairing in round number 1. Really finding his way through the sand there. Looked like Equalizer at the very end. Bigfoot may have got him on the fly. Your winner is Eric Tack, and Bigfoot had to catch up some ground against Equalizer. He moves on to the next round. A good victory for Eric Tack in the Bigfoot Ford. Next up is Run and Make, also out of Hazelwood, Missouri. Hollywood Hulk Hogan, one of the WCW NWO wrestling trucks out here. The big rippling biceps. He's got the near lane, and Sky Hartly behind the wheel. Sky, a real high flyer there. And let's see if he can put the old Hollywood Hogan NWO into victory lane. Over in the far lane, it'll be the War Wagon. Jeff Cook behind the wheel, garaged out of Auburn, Indiana. And a beautiful looking classic truck. This thing can move. He'll have his work cut out for him as he takes on the big Ford horsepower on those Firestone tires of Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Both drivers ready to go. It's reaction time here. You've got lots of sand between the start line and the finish line, and you've got to be able to make the distance at the very beginning. Boy, a tough one there for Sky Hartley. Takes the win, but a very tough start for him and an even rougher landing. But the horsepower in between the set of wrecked cars definitely all belongs to Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He'll move on into the next round. Sky Hartley with the win. A good-looking truck made for television. Certainly looks good right on the beach. Hollywood Hogan strutting his stuff on the New Jersey coast. Our next pair right here, two evenly matched vehicles. It is Deil Wilson, the Virginia Giant, qualifying at a 9:19. Pat Summa brings the Thrasher. He's from not too far away in New Milford, Connecticut. The Thrasher at 8:15. That was his time in the qualification route. Two evenly matched vehicles, and again, this track here is so tough for a number of guys to figure out. You've got to have the right amount of wheel slippage there on the starting line. You've got to have good reaction time. You've got to keep the vehicle moving straight forward. That may sound easier than it is. They're 10,000 pounds, by the way. Let's give them the green. Deil Wilson's going to walk away with that one right there. A better reaction time, quite possibly, over Pat Summa. Maybe something on the starting line wrong with the Thrasher, but Deil Wilson, been at this a long time, former drag racer, takes the Virginia Giant back to the garage area, gets set for the next round. Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger out of Poplar Branch, North Carolina, brings the truck a couple 100 miles up north to the New Jersey beach. Notice the rear tire, we'll talk about it later, but he's cut some stuff off there, invested a little money in a paddle tire that should work well on the sand. In the far lane, it's Tom Meents in the Monster Patrol. Now, this former mud racer is very quick on the starting line, and if you want to beat Dennis Anderson, that's the place where you've got to do it. Anderson, a whole lot of horsepower and a ragged edge driving style, gets to victory lane a lot. Tom Meents will have to be on top of his game, and a good start is where it's all going to happen. Look at that, almost by an entire truck length, and he got it, folks, right at the starting line. Tom Meents got the whole shot. The old mud racer picks up a win against the Gravedigger. And it is time for the second round. Should be a very good matchup. Remember, our monsters are marching towards a $40,000 purse and their own set of bragging rights. Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher, no stranger to racing on this beach. Been here for all the Thunder on the Beach series. He matches up against Eric Tack in Bigfoot. It is a classic Ford in the near lane versus Chevrolet in the far lane. Tack against Porter, Bigfoot against Crusher. It doesn't get any better than this. Again, whoever starts off the cleanest, the quickest, could end up moving into the semifinal round. But it all starts right here. Eric Tack, Bigfoot, Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher. Gary Porter will take the win. Remember, Gary Porter had a bye in the first round, so this is really his first racing experience. He did not want to lose this one. Porter had the advantage going off the starting line, had the advantage in between the obstacles, had a pretty rough landing, but he's moving on to the second round. Team Bigfoot, right now, they're moving back to the trailer. Eric Tack will have to wait for another day. Your winner, Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher. Next up, Sudden Impact. John Seasock out of Frackville, Pennsylvania. He's moving up next. He had a good qualifying effort right now. And let's see what Seasock can do here as he gets set to take his trip down the beach. Up against Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Now, Sky Hartly is behind the wheel here. Sky is a runner for Team Bigfoot. This is essentially a Bigfoot Ford, except for the skin right there. Muscles are rippling, and from one coast to the next coast, everyone knows about Hulk Hogan. Sky Hartly hopes that the bragging rights are on his side here. He's got the near lane, the far lane, Sudden Impact, and John Seasock. This should be a pretty good matchup right here. You'd almost have to give the advantage to Sky Hartly in experience, but you never know what will happen on the beach. Seasock right now with Sudden Impact lines it up. He's ready for his trip down the 180-foot strip of sand. As they stage and move to the line right now, those Firestones getting set to grip into the starting line. Seasock, far lane, Hartly, near lane. Seasock had the advantage coming off the line, but all that big 572 cubic inches of Ford horsepower puts the Hollywood Hulk Hogan into the next round. And folks in New Jersey, if you like wrestling or any place, Hulk Hogan beat a man. Out of Hazelwood, Missouri, Sky Hartly gets another win. He gets to strut his stuff once again in front of the full grandstands here at WildWood, New Jersey. What a beautiful afternoon it is for a little rumble and thunder on the beach. Monster Patrol Tom Meents out of Paxton, Illinois. This guy very tough off the line. I think that mud racing really helps his reaction time as he gets set here in the second round. He will move up against Deil Wilson, a guy that is a wily veteran, been around for a number of years, has been drag racing, been involved in tractor pulling, and right now he's behind the wheel of a 10,000-pound monster truck, garaged out of four-wheel drive truck country in Winchester, Virginia. And a new look this year for the Virginia Giant, new paint scheme, and underneath that skin, there's some innovations right there. So we'll see what can happen here as Meents gets ready in Monster Patrol over the far side against Deil Wilson in the Virginia Giant. As we've seen so far, whoever gets off that line the quickest usually ends up moving on to the next round. Second round action continues. They're all looking towards the semis. Deil Wilson near lane, far lane is Tom Meents in the Monster Patrol. Even off the line, but Tom Meents a straighter run right there. He ends up winning by a truck length and a half, and he will move back on. That guy from Paxton, Illinois can definitely make it happen. He moves on to the semifinal round, and it should be a good one. You don't have to discuss reaction time with this guy. Dennis Anderson, Gravedigger out of North Carolina. Probably one of the most recognized monster trucks in the entire world. This guy always lives it on the razor's edge. Should be a good fight right here. The Gravedigger against Hulk Hogan. Sky Hartly against Dennis Anderson. This should be a good matchup here. Experience on the far side with Dennis Anderson against the raw talent and a big, heavy foot of Sky Hartly. Good picture of Sky right there as he gets set to roll into the staging beams. It is Hollywood Hogan and Sky Hartly, Dennis Anderson, and the Gravedigger. Great run going for, oh my goodness, he's up and over. Sky Hartly does on endo right there and still clocks up 5:20. But the Hollywood Hulk Hogan shredding some parts on the beach.
Well, the run started off great. It just felt fine. I hit the second set of cars, and all of a sudden it just didn't have any power. I don't know if I used all the motor I had and couldn't pull out of it, and it just seemed like the motor just shut right off.
Let's take a look at this in replay right now. Takes the first set really, really well, under control. Now, here's where the problem comes, as he starts to nose over a little bit, and no matter how much horsepower he had, it may have been impossible to be able to drive underneath that once again. Kind of nosed it over. That's what flipped it. You see the drive line, the shock mounts coming back out. Different angle right here. See, under control, into no man's land. Then he starts to nose back over. And once you start bouncing around those front tires, it's awful tough to correct that situation. And right now it comes down to these two trucks. The Monster Patrol, Tom Meents up against Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger. Now, Tom Meents has been very quick off the starting line. Dennis has had some problems, as we saw in the semifinal round, but he's been able to score some wins. So the guy out of Paxton, Illinois right now has got his work cut out for him, but Dennis also has got his work cut out for him as well. He's got to be a little bit relaxed on the starting line, can't hurry, but you've got to have all your ducks in a row here as they're marching towards their share of the $40,000 purse here at Thunder on the Beach 3. Monster trucks getting staged right now. They're 10,000-pound vehicles running on alcohol, supercharged engines. They're on it. Another close side-by-side matchup, and from our angle, it looks like a pick'em. Almost a photo finish right there. We're going to have to give the advantage, however, to Mr. Tom Meents, who got it at the starting line and was able to run the quickest and straightest run. The Monster Patrol takes home the crown of Thunder on the Beach 3.
Yeah, it's a real tough track. You know, the sand out here can be really hard on your motor. And, you know, all the trucks are pretty much on the same level plateau, and it's a lot tougher than it used to be. There ain't no gimmies out here. You know, it turned out really well for us.
Congratulations, man.